Hello everyone, an update here on the Flamingo missile strike. Now this isn't a new strike but an update on an old one, and it features some good old Russian twaddle as well. So this strike occurred in September 2025. Now firstly, this wasn't the first Flamingo strike like some places online are saying. This came a few weeks after the strike that hit the hovercrafts and barracks in Crimea if you remember that one. This strike though was targeting an important factory which makes special tools for processing titanium and aluminium composites, critical for the Russian aviation sector. 70% of the products here are used for aerospace materials including Migs, Su-34, Su-35 and Su-57. So it is a very important target. Now I've got the background information out of the way. On screen now is a photo shared by Ukraine the other day, showing the immediate aftermath of the strike itself. So there was a spotter drone to record the impact here. This shows at least two separate plumes of smoke over the facility after the Flamingo strike. Now, onto the satellite imagery. So this one confused me at first the way it was edited. I didn't really know what I was supposed to be seeing here. On the right hand side is the factory before. On the left, the aftermath. This work was done by Cyber and Exile Nova on Twitter. It shows four impact marks on the factory. Exile Nova saying they all hit within an 80-meter square radius, with 4 out of 4 missiles launched hitting the target building. Now these holes here are for the most part look squarish, which I assume means that Russia is repairing them and has cut the damaged sections of roof away here. The third one down is just a smallish hole in the roof. I wonder if this flamingo may have been a dud and didn't explode properly, or it hit a less important part of the factory and so didn't cause as much of an explosion. Because for the others, these definitely suggest to me that the impact detonated inside after penetrating the roof and caused severe damage to the roof sections, so they had to be cut away. That's how I'm reading this anyway. So that third one, the small hole, I do think that was a flamingo that didn't detonate. Now the bottom one is interesting because you can see what appears to be a crater in the cut-off section of roof inside the factory itself. Now, the fact that there are 4 confirmed hits on the factory is important, because it exposes some Russian twaddle. At the time, Russia did admit to this attack, but they reported that only one Flamingo reached the target, with the other 3 being intercepted en route. That's clearly twaddle, since we have 4 impacts shown here, unless Russia is using the technicality that all drones were intercepted by the target again. Cyber and Exile Nova says the targets here all hit the main production area of the plant and cause severe damage. It isn't known yet if this factory is up and running again, but as it makes components critical for Russia's aviation, hopefully it's down for the count, and the loss of this factory will impede production of Russian aircraft for a while to come. Here's a Google map view, showing it to be a sizable facility, measuring about 200 meters end to end. Now this is here, very close to the border, so at first it seems odd to use a Flamingo at such a close range. But remember, Flamingo had only entered service a month before, so I think it makes sense to use it relatively close so that it's easy to do a damage assessment, such as a spotter drone hovering overhead to record the impact. If Ukraine used it at its max range, it would be much more difficult to assess damage. They'd be relying on satellite imagery or videos or photos from the site. Here, we can have a drone hovering. Now, despite this strike being a success, quite a few Flamingo strikes haven't been as successful. For one of the hovercraft you may remember, one missile hit the target, one missed completely, and the other one landed a bit away from the target but still caused damage to some of the hovercrafts. Another one in Novorossiysk, the Flamingo landed well away from the target. So it is proven to be quite inaccurate in some cases, which may account for the fact we haven't really seen many strikes yet. Ukraine is still ironing out the kinks and trying to increase the range. I did see some posts on Telegram and Twitter saying that the flaw of a flamingo is that it flies at a slightly higher altitude than it should do, meaning it's easy to detect and intercept. How true that is, I'm not sure, but we definitely don't see Flamingo use options, so I do think Ukraine is currently working on fixing it and improving it before we see it being used a lot. So that's it for this video. Hope you found it interesting. If so, please click like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much and take care everybody.